For all those golf lovers out there, Hollywood and filmmakers have tapped into your love for this game and made many movies whose storyline revolves around golf. We, at Buzzle, have listed out the 10 best golf movies that every golf lover should not miss. Let me tell you something. I came here to win a trophy. And on the face of it, Ted Ray, or I should carry it off. Not for you, not for England, but for sheer bloody pride at being the best. That's why we do this. And if Mr. Rui Met wins tomorrow, it's because he's the best, because of who he is. Not who his father was, not how much money he's got, because of who he bloody is. And I'll thank you to remember that. And I'll thank you to show the respect a gentleman gives as a matter of course. Harry Vardon, the greatest game ever played. Any sport needs lot of passion and focus. It also provides fans and players of its fair share of emotional ups and downs. Though it may seem like a passive sport, our beloved game of golf also takes us on an emotional roller coaster. Considering the popularity of golf, it is not surprising to find golf being the subject of many movies, highlighting the finer nuances of the game, not to mention the winning, losing, and the spirit of competition. Golf has evolved and changed with the times, from being a sport for the elite to being loved and followed by the working class too. Our movies have reflected its journey in a unique fashion, from portraying the real-life stories of legendary golfers to fiction. Some movies have a calm, serious theme, while some have managed to tickle our funny bone. The following list of golf movies, according to Buzzle, are a must-watch of all golf lovers. Black Star Tin Cup release year, 1996. Lead protagonists: Roy played by Kevin Costner, Molly played by Renee Russo. The movie is about a former professional golfer, Roy, who owns a golf driving range. However, he has very little ambition and wastes his talent. He whiles away his time with his friend Romeo. But, like every man needs a woman to bring out the best in him, enter Molly, the beautiful psychologist who gets him back on his feet. She asks Roy for golf lessons, and Cupid strikes. However, Molly is the girlfriend of his former golf rival, whom Roy needs to supersede to win Molly's heart. He bucks himself up for the US Open golf tournament, while seeking therapy from Molly. In this journey, Roy looks to rediscover himself and rekindle his passion for the game, while trying to harness his talents to achieve something in life. The master shot: more than winning, it is the game which is important, and this movie justifies the real motto behind any sportsman's spirit and the things you can do for what you love. Black Star Follow the Sun release year, 1951. Lead protagonists: Ben Hogan played by Glenn Ford, Valerie Hogan played by Ann Baxter. This is a biopic of legendary golfer Ben Hogan, and the movie discovers his journey in golf. I love biopics, because they are inspiring for young golfers. This movie portrays how love can conquer all. With the love and support of his wife and fans, Ben, despite meeting with a serious accident, musters courage to get back to golf and achieves success. This movie also features real-life famous golfers, starring as themselves. The master shot: if you're having a mellow day, this biopic will motivate you to get back on your feet. That's what sport teaches us: to get up after every failure or fall, and to learn from it and have a never-say-die attitude. Black Star Pat and Mike release year, 1952. Lead protagonists: Pat Pemberton played by Katharine Hepburn, Mike Conovan played by Spencer Tracy. This movie is a tribute to all the lady golfers who've managed to challenge years of discrimination, and prove that they have an equal right to play and enjoy golf just like the men. Pat is that vivacious golfer, who knows her game. However, the hurdle is her fiancé, who wants her to settle down with him soon and tuck away her golfing dreams in a corner. Presumably, considering the release year of the movie, it can be understood that during the '50s it must have been a real deal for a woman to play golf, unlike today. She's outstanding at her game. However, the presence of her fiancé always unnerves her, and she manages to lose her confidence. Yet, she refuses to give up her love for the sport and strikes a partnership with Mike, a sports promoter who initially bribes her into losing a game, which she refuses. Despite a bad start with him, Mike sees great potential in her talent and decides to give her due. She even fights goons when they attack Mike, eventually discovering that they have fallen in love. The Master Shot. A craving for independence is every woman's dream, especially during 1950s. And what better way than to have a lover who supports you in fulfilling your dream? Ladies, time to pick up your golf clubs and follow your passion. Black Star, the greatest game ever played. Release year 2005. Lead protagonist Francis Ouimet, played by Shia LaBeouf. If you're a sucker for biopics, this movie tells the story of Francis Ouimet, who managed to break the class restrictions enforced by golf clubs. Despite hailing from a working-class background, he became the first amateur to play in the U.S. Open golf tournament. Much against the wishes of his father, Francis struggled through all odds and financial crisis to keep his passion for golf alive. He even worked as a caddy, thus earning the dismay of his father, as it paid him much lesser money. The film ends with the greatest game, that is his tournament with established players Harry Vardon and Ted Ray, whom he idolizes since his childhood. The Master Shot dreams do come true, with perseverance and patience. That's what this movie, inspired by a real-life golfer's story, tells us. Black Star. Happy Gilmore. Release year 1996. Lead protagonist Happy Gilmore, played by Adam Sandler. It's an Adam Sandler movie, and you can expect it humor and comedy, and Happy Gilmore happily showcases Adam's comic timing aptly. Happy was raised by his grandmother alone, and her house is now at stake, since she has not paid the taxes for many years, and now has 3 months to pay the money, else her house will be forfeited. Though a rejected ice hockey player, Happy has inherited a unique hockey slap shot technique from his father. A former golf player, Chubbs Peterson, who had to quit playing golf as his right hand was injured by an alligator, discovers Happy and encourages him to contest in a local tournament. Happy wins the tournament and earns himself a spot in the Pro Golf Tour. Unwillingly, Happy has to join the tournament immediately, ignoring Chubbs' suggestion of joining it after 6 months of training, as he needs to raise money for his grandmother's home within 3 months. What follows is his journey throughout the tour. A rival shooter puts Happy through all kinds of turmoil to compel him to quit the game, and Happy's outgoing attitude and crazy antics, which earned him a lot of brownie points from viewers. Despite all odds, Happy manages to win and reclaim his grandmother's house. The Master Shot. Adam Sandler never fails to do it, make his audience love him, over and over again, much like this character, Happy. With his unique style, which his fans are aware of, this is a light-hearted movie. It's the story of a humble man who fails like everyone else, yet never tries to give up. And yes, that is what makes it appealing, yet recommended only for those who don't mind watching an Adam Sandler movie. Black Star. The Caddy. Release year 1953. Lead protagonist Joe, played by Dean Martin. Harvey, played by Jerry Lewis. A classic comedy, you'll love this one for its different theme. Though based on golf, the real highlight is the comic timing between the two protagonists. The story revolves around Harvey, who is a talented golfer, yet his fear of crowds suppresses him from showcasing his talent. As an alternative, he decides to become a caddy and coach to his fiancée's brother Joe. They both form a successful team. However, in a bid to impress the rich lass Kathy Taylor, Joe takes Harvey for granted. Joe basks in the glory of his success, eventually leading Harvey to tend to himself. Joe spends all the money, and ignores Harvey's attempts to keep him at his best performance. A web of misunderstandings, and the constant cat-and-mouse game which manages to create a scene every time and evoke hilarity, are witnessed by a showman, and he suggests him to try the show business instead of being on the golf course. The film ends with their successful comic show performance, eventually leading Harvey to overcome his fear of performing in front of an audience. The Master Shot. Though the film starts with golf, it proves to be a gateway to a successful career for both young men. Nevertheless, it ends with a star pair of comedians highlighting the fact that hidden talent needs to be discovered and honed to be best utilized. Black Star: The Legend of Bagger Vance. Release year, 2000. Lead protagonists: Bagger Vance, Will Smith, Ranulph Jr., Matt Damon, Adele, and Ver Gordon, Charlize Theron. Based on a novel, this movie tells the story of a fictional character, Bagger Vance. Will Smith has excellently portrayed this mysterious character. Certainly offbeat, though it involves golf, there is an unusual enigma to this story. Juno is a depressed soul after World War I, yet is convinced by his lover, Adele, to participate in a golf tournament, which includes legendary players of those times, Bobby Jones and Walter Hagen. Out of the blue, a man named Bagger Vance appears and agrees to be a caddy for Juno. Bagger guides Juno throughout the tournament and helps him overcome his depression, thus motivating him to move on with life. With a peaceful pace, the characters are calm and matured. No antagonist in this story. The story progresses just like a piece of soothing music. Whether Bagger is an angel or a real person, no one really knows. But once he learns that Juno is attempting to accept and learn to live life again, he disappears, much to the shock of Juno. The master shot: This movie showcases the sport from a different perspective. Golf as a synonym for companionship, and a game of gentlemen, where playing has more relevance than who wins or loses. Black Star: A Gentleman's Game. Release year, 2002. Lead protagonists: Timmy Price, played by Mason Gamble, Foster Pearce, played by Gary Sinise. This movie is about a 12-year-old kid, Timmy, who has talent in playing golf, and his father gets him a summer job as a caddy in his golf club. While working as a caddy and improving his game, he discovers the realities of life, differences in economic classes of people, and how the working class mutely succumbs to the wishes and whims of the elite players. The movie is little cynical, somewhere mocking the name A Gentleman's Game, as dirty truths are discovered by the little kid when he works as a caddy. He is sent to a former golf player, Foster Pearce, to improve his golf skills, only to discover that each one has their own secrets here. In all this, the real essence of golf seems to be forgotten. The master shot: This movie explores the ugly facet of human behavior, how class differences can interfere even in sport. Black Star: Bobby Jones, Stroke of Genius. Release year, 2002. Lead protagonists: Bobby Jones, played by Jim Caviezel, Mary Jones, played by Claire Forlani. A movie based on the life of legendary golfer Bobby Jones. It portrays his journey from a rewarding career to a lawyer. His life was also fraught with financial adversities, and a childhood engulfed with health problems. Nevertheless, he managed both professions, and even after retirement continued his association with the sport by helping design the Augusta National Golf Club. The film explores his life through golf and also his relationship with his wife. The film received mixed reviews, also being criticized for being a bit dull and mulling over a sad theme. The master shot: Bobby Jones is one of the greatest golfers of all time, and a biopic can bring to light certain unknown facets about such legends. Black Star: Caddyshack. Release year, 1980. Lead protagonists: Danny Newman, played by Michael O'Keefe, Judge Smails, played by Ted Knight, Al Chervik, played by Rodney Dangerfield, Ty Webb, played by Chevy Chase. This movie is a slapstick comedy revolving around a caddy and the rivalry between golfers at a golf club. The movie has an interesting tagline: "The snobs against the slobs." Meet Danny Newman, a college student who is vying to get the attention of rich golfers, while working as a caddy at Bushwood Country Club, to win the caddy scholarship. He caddies for the professional golfer Ty Webb. Danny manages to impress Judge Smails, the club's co-founder, and also have a fling with his niece, Lacey. Whereas Judge Smails is bitten by the rivalry bug against a new member, Al Chervik, who is known for his arrogance. Meanwhile, a tussle between Smails and Chervik ends up into a tournament between Smails and Dr. Beeper on one side, with Ty Webb and Al Chervik as their opponents. During the match, Chervik fakes injury and they're compelled to find a substitute for him. When Danny is chosen, he is in a fix whether to risk his scholarship for inviting the wrath of Smails, or to win the match and make some money out of it. Adding to this, is a gopher who has wreaked havoc by infesting the golf course. The master shot: Caddyshack has nothing much to do about the sport, The actors have performed brilliantly with their comic timing. The movie was also followed by its sequel in 1988. Pick up your genre and watch these golf movies. It can be a perfect way to spend a Sunday, yet nothing could be better if it encourages you to pick up golf. If you've any other favorites that are worth watching, kindly enlist them in the comments section below.